instead of a classic 3-part session, we're going to do a 30-minute EMOM, which means 30 minutes of consecutive work on the minute. Is going to be a great session, so let's get started. So instead of showing you guys the movements right now, I'm going to talk to you about the actual concept that we will use for today's workout. Now what you need to do is set your smartwatch timer at a 30-minute interval using the EMOM function. You can do 30 intervals, all being 1 minute. The concept is this: at the start of every minute you need to perform a fixed amount of repetitions of a certain movement, and the remainder of the time will be filled with a different movement. Now the first 10 minutes we'll have 8 reps of a push-up, and then the remainder of the time will just be sit-ups. But you don't want to go too hot out of the gates because we got a 30-minute workout ahead of us. The second 10-minute time frame will have deadlifts with a heavy bag. So you're going to grab a heavy bag, load it up with whatever you have, do 8 deadlifts with it, and then the remainder of that minute you do lateral jumps over the back, 2-foot takeoff, 2-foot landing. The last 10 minutes will be filled with plank press-ups, a very nasty core movement there, also shoulder taxing, and then the remainder of that time frame or of that minute will be filled with just doing burpees. Now if you want to score this workout, which you can, I want you to score the total amount of repetitions except all the sets of 8. You don't count those because we have to do those anyways. So it sounds difficult, it's very simple in concept, so let's have a look at the 6 movements you need to do in today's workout. So what I need you guys to do is start practicing the movements with us. So we're going to demo all 6 movements, give you some scaling options, also provide you with injury options, but you might want to try these out right away so you kind of get a warm-up in as well, which is a good one for the day. Now let's have a look at our first movement of the day, which is going to be the push-up. I'm going to have Fred and Cecily today here for the demo, so let's have a look at both of them. Guys, please get on the floor in your regular plank. Now Cecily's already going to scaling right away, which is good to see. They're both holding a proper plank, and then from here, elbows close to the body, chest goes to the floor within a nice plank, and they press out until they block out the elbows perfectly. Get a couple of more reps in, guys. So Cecily is using an object here for some slight elevation, which makes it slightly easier. Perfect push-ups, guys. Let's take a quick break. Let's continue to look at Cecily here. Now if you do not have a fixed object at home that you can use, which very weird though, but let's say that you don't have it. You can also go onto your knees instead of onto an object, but then I want you to make a plank from knee to hip to shoulder instead of from ankle to hip to shoulder. Let's get a couple of reps in here, Cecily. So instead of just dropping her chest, she's still trying to just tilt from the knee, so she's working her plank position while going up and down through that push-up motion. Perfectly demonstrated. Now, let's say that Cecily has an injury that's telling her, hey man, you should not go through that range of motion because your shoulders are hurting. In that case, we can also go for a shoulder tap kind of motion, where you're going to touch the same shoulder of the hand you lift off the floor. And the thing is here, you're going to fight balance by squeezing your butt and your abs as hard as you possibly can. Instead of doing 8 reps here, she has to complete 16 reps to get through all the push-ups. Good. Now let's move on to our second movement. And our second movement is going to be the sit-up, which will be our classic sit-up for today with the tucked in legs. And we're going to just simply reach from behind us towards our heels or toes. Let's have a look at the sit-ups here. So they're both reaching back, they both come forward. I need you guys to just make a couple of reps here. Here you go, so you go over the legs or outside the legs, you're going to touch the feet. I'm not going to be very strict on the rules here, as long as you guys touch the floor behind you and touch your feet in front of you, which will make it a proper sit-up. Alright, perfectly done. Now, let's have a look at Cecily here, because she's going to show you what you should do if this is extremely hard for you to do. Do another sit-up. Good, so that is also your scaling option. And why am I saying that? It's very simple. It is remainder of the time filled with sit-ups. If you're very comfortable doing sit-ups, you might do 20. If you're not comfortable doing sit-ups, you might do 2. So we call that your scaling. If Cecily has an iffy lower back and it's hurting a bit too much, I want her to do a hold where she just pulls her shoulder blades off the floor. So in this position, the lower back is flat in the floor, the abs are tight. You just hold this as long as you can, and then once the beep goes for the next minute, you switch back to your push-ups. Good, Cess, thank you. Now, let's get our backs in. And let's get some deadlifts going on with our backs right in front of the body. So you want to place your back on the floor. Here we go. You try to have a spot in the back where you can hold on to. You either place it wide or you place it long or whatever feels good. Then you're going to sit your hips back with a slight knee bend and reach for that back. The first one is always a bit iffy. You're going to lift it off the floor, and now from here we're going to make perfect deadlifts. Guys, give me a couple of deadlifts. Good. Slight knee bend would be good. Nice slight knee bend. Sit the hips back. Solid. So the lower you grab the bag, the bigger the range of motion becomes to touch the floor. I don't want you to focus on actually touching the floor. I want you to focus on sitting back, feeling that hamstring work, and then squeezing your butt on the way up to get to the deadlifts. Now, these are good deadlifts with a light bag. You can load up that bag with encyclopedias, with law books, with whatever you have at home to make it feel heavy and just add some loading to today's workout. Now let's grab that bag on top of the chest for Cecily because she has still that lower back injury troubling with. So instead of that, we're going to load up. She's going to shift her weight into the front foot and she's going to do some squats here with the bag in the front. Perfectly done. She's really going to focus on not letting her hips come back on the way up to avoid straining that lower back too much in a squatting pattern and just loading her quads as much as possible. If this is still very difficult, you can always ditch the bag and do it without the bag. Good, now you guys place the bag on the floor. We move on to our fourth movement in this demo, which will be the lateral jump over the back. Let's both start on the left side, at home as well. Start on the left side if you're following along. Let's first in slow-mo, which is very hard in this rhythmic movement, do a couple of reps where you show the people at home their standards. So let's jump from one side to the other. Let's hold it. Let's jump back to the other side. Good, let's do that 2 more times. 1 and 2. Good, now this is the standard. Now I want to show you guys how it should look like on a regular tempo. Cecily's going to go slightly slower and Fred's going to just go in this regular lateral jump tempo. Let's go guys, couple of reps. Boom, boom, boom. Good. Alright, let's take a break there. Nice, so if you feel that this is troubling because you think it's scary to jump over the back, first thing you can do is stand behind the back and then just pretend. Because pretending is the best way to getting fit. So let's have a look at this pretending lateral jump from Cecily. That is very good. Another thing you could do is when you have an injury that's telling you not to jump, you want to kind of go into more like a stepping motion, but you want to lift up the knees nice and high when you do that so you get some lag action. Boom. This would be way better to do if you have injuries telling you you should not jump in this case. Well, if you guys are still with us for the demos, we got 2 more movements to do. So let's move on to the next movement, which will be the plank press up. So guys, let's go to a plank on arms first. A plank on long arms. At home as well, you can definitely try this out with us. We start on long arms, Cecily. Here we go. No, that's beautiful. Now what I both need you guys to use, we start with right down. Okay, so we're going to bring right elbow to the floor, left elbow to the floor, and then press back up from the right to the left. You guys did the same, that was perfect. Let's do a couple more reps here. From the elbows to the long arms, maintaining that hip line with the shoulder. That is very important. Actually fight the plank position here. Now with the 8 reps, you guys stay in plank for a bit. That looks good on video. Now with the 8 reps here, you either do 4 reps in one direction and then 4 reps in the other direction, or you alternate the arms pressing up and moving yourself on the way down to make sure you hit both sides equally. Now, the last movement that we will do today is going to be the burpee. The best way to end your workout is with that burpee in that last 10-minute time frame. So let's have a look at the burpees, and from the get-go we're going to see 2 different styles. Fred is going to go all out for his burpees. He's going to jump back, jump up, and Cecily is going to do the walking burpee because she knows how long a 30-minute workout is. Alright, let's have a look here. You guys get a couple of burpees in for me, please. Head them on the foot, Freddy. All the way down. There we go. Boom. So Freddy is jumping back and up, which is going to bring his heart rate up pretty damn fast. And Cecily is more in that controlled motion of the burpee, which is also a perfect one. Alright, let's take a break for a second. That's good. Now, let's have a look at injury options for the burpee, which are only 2 in this case. The first one being I cannot jump, which we also just had with lateral jumps over the back. In this case, you're going to step your burpee, but in the finished position, instead of jumping up, I just want you to extend and clap your hands behind your head. Can you show me that, Cecily? So she is stepping back, goes on the floor, she's stepping back up, and she's reaching. That's all she's doing here, stepping burpees for injury on jumping mechanics. Now the last injury option that we have for you guys is when you cannot press, and when you cannot press, you just throw in a kickback here. Can you just show me a kickback? So you can walk the kickback, but if you can still jump, I want you to jump the kickback. Boom! Very good. All right. Now these were lots and lots of movements. I hope you guys actually practice these with us. Now it's time to get started on the session, so hang around and let's get started. Alright, so what we have now is we got to get our timer set. So take your smartwatch app, set it at 30 intervals of a minute, right? We're going to start this workout with you guys. So remember, the first 10 minutes, you will only do 8 push-ups in the start of the minute, and the remainder will be just sit-ups. Then we'll do the same with deadlifts with the back, and then lateral jumps in the second 10-minute time frame. And the last 10-minute time frame will be plank press-ups with burpees, which is a perfect finish of today's session. If you guys are ready to start, I'm ready to start. I need you to be ready to start. So get off your couch and join us in this one. I'm gonna count you guys all down. We're gonna get into action here. I just press the start button on my smartwatch app. Now it's going to be a 3, 2, 1, let's go. So they're starting on their 8 push-ups here. Cecily is scaling this by going to her knees. And Fred has his perfect plank going on with his elbows close to the body, just touching the floor, and he's having that firm lockout. Often you see guys not hitting the lockout because they want to be fast and get a good chest bump. If you want big triceps, you need to get that lockout going. So they spend about like 16 seconds to get through 8 reps of the push-up. That means that they have lots and lots of time left there to just work the sit-up. So you don't have to go fast. If you know this workout, it's going to take 30 minutes, and then this little couplet here is going to take exactly 10 minutes. So we are now 20 seconds away from the second interval. I need you guys to just keep going on the sit-ups. You don't want to be too fast here, just keep chipping away in the reps. And if you're counting, only count the sit-ups because they're the only thing that will add up for your score. I'm going to count you guys down from 3 seconds and you can start on the push-ups again. Second interval starts in 3, 2, 1, go! So second interval, same stuff guys, 8 push-ups, and after the last push-up, right into their sit-ups. Good. If you need to break up the push-ups, I'd rather have you do that and then do less sit-ups than scaling it down. If you can do it in 2 quick sets, you'll still be fine for today's workout because you'll do 80 proper push-ups, which is a good workout in itself. So Fred is done, he's moving on to his sit-ups, Cecily's moving on to her sit-ups as well. And then moving on to further away in that second interval. Boom. 3, 2, 1, and switch. So they're on to their second 10-minute EMOM, which will have the deadlifts with the bag. So the focus point is very perfect deadlifts here for 8 reps. So slide knee bend, hips go back, back stays nice and flat. Pressure is going to be in the back of the foot. Keep the object as close to the body as possible. Now, if you do this heavy, the set is going to take a while, which is nice because you have to combine this with those terrible lateral jumps over the back, for which you probably need to stretch out your calves right after the workout. Yeah, let's go for it, man. You don't have to wait for me. We got 30 seconds in, which means 30 seconds of jumping. Good. Solid. So what you don't want to put in your bag is like a piece of food or a piece of glass. Because you put that in your bag and jump on top of the bag, you'll break the glass or you'll destroy the piece of food. You guys got 10 seconds. 10 seconds and we start again with the deadlifts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's get that bag up in the air. Let's start the deadlifts again. Sit back, reach. Weight's going to be in the heel. Find the hammies on the way down. Squeeze your butt on the way up. There you go. Use those babies. All right, 5 more seconds and then we switch to our last 10-minute time frame. 3, 2, 1, and break. Okay, bags away. Let's go to our plank position. We're going to do those plank press-ups. Here we go. So Fred has a very narrow base with the feet, which is very tough to do, harder on the balance. Cecily has widened her base, which makes it a bit easier on the balance. Still perfect plank press-ups here. It's going to be 8 repetitions of this, alternating, or 4 in one direction and 4 in the other. And then finishing off the round with what? Yes, Fred, with burpees, bro. Here we go. Jump back, jump up. You don't have to be fast because you got 30 seconds of burpees. You know how many reps you do in 30 seconds? Probably 10 or more. Yeah, here we go. So Cecily is walking the burpee, which is totally fine here, guys. Totally fine. It's not about how fast you are. It is about maintaining a tempo for the full 30 minutes. And that is going to be the tough part of the day. Being able to control your pacing for the 30-minute workout, where the goal is to do as much work as possible. We switch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right back to the plank press up. Let's go, guys. Get in your plank and start again. Alright, so you guys have to do another 9 minutes in this little workout here. Good luck, have fun, continue, press pause.